This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined for the first time by Ben Davison.
Is it?
Yep, it is indeed. How are you doing, Ben?
Good. You?
I'm all good, thank you. Obviously, we're down here today for Tyson Fury's press conference just before he jets off to the sunnier climate of Las Vegas.
Actually, it's a lie. He's going to New York first.
Oh, is he? So is that where you're going to be setting up for camp, I take it?
No, for New York, he's just got a bit of media to do there before going to Vegas.
We'll obviously try and keep away from that, and we'll talk about the fight itself. Tom Schwartz, what was the decision behind taking on Tom ahead of the Deontay Wilder rematch or any other opponents that you guys would have discussed?
It wasn't a fact of picking it over. We, like I said, we went over to Marbella on New Year's Day. It was to start training as we believed the rematch was going to happen. Then, obviously, like I said, we started to get wind of the rematch not happening, and Wilder was going to look to do a free-fight deal with Showtime, and we heard that the Breazeale fight was pretty much done. So, you know, Tyson couldn't sit and wait around. So obviously this is later than he wanted to. Like I say, New Year's Day, you know, we flew straight to Marbella because we thought the fight was going to happen to start training, and wasn't the case. We got wind of that, and you know, you can't expect to just sit around anyway. A few names got sent over. Tom Schwartz is around a similar height. An unbeaten fighter, good rankings, so we agreed.
How difficult is it for you guys to try and show everyone that this is going to be just as tough a challenge for Tyson as what the Deontay fight was, but in a different way and in a different manner in terms of the skill set that Tom will bring?
We haven't got to show anybody. Tyson's got to go in there and do his job, and that's what he does. He's a boxer. He's not trying to sell it or trying to, you know, say it's this or say it's that or play it up, play it down. It is what it is. It's an unbeaten fighter that's highly ranked in two organisations, and Tyson's got to go in there and do a job.
So I know that as a trainer you would have analysed Tom. What have you seen in him that may cause Tyson issues, or not necessarily cause him issues, but he may not have had to come up against previously?
Obviously the skill set of Tyson, but no heavyweights come across the skill set of Tyson, so that's a difficult one. But I have seen with Tom, obviously Tom's a big guy, but he's also quite fast, nimble on his feet. But I've also seen him have to dig deep in fights, so I've seen that he's got that. Like I said, he's a little bit of an unknown quantity because he's not been beat, so you don't know how far he could go. When Tyson boxed Klitschko, people didn't think that Tyson could raise to that levels, but you don't know until the night comes. He could crumble. He could be like a rabbit in the headlights and crumble, or he could rise to the occasion. You don't know.
Do you think Tom can take inspiration in the sense that he'll be an underdog for this fight and he'll look at what Tyson delivered against Deontay Wilder and think, if Tyson can do that against Deontay, why can't I do that against Tyson?
100% he will, 100%, and this is a chance for Tom to change his life, so I'm sure it'll be the best Tom Schwartz has ever been, plus a good 50-60%.
Obviously it's his first fight as well under the ESPN and the Top Rank banner. What are your plans and what discussions have you had with Bob Arum looking further down the line?
Just the top three are in talks. Obviously, everybody wants to see the top three fight. Tyson wants those fights, but he's not going to build up his hopes and it not happen. So, you know, he's just one challenge at a time. Leave that to the promoters, his advisors, MTK. That's their job. But if you're going to have a team, you might as well have the best, and that's what Tyson's got.
A lot's obviously been made about the different networks that everybody's signed to at the top of the division. How much of an issue do you see that being in terms of trying to make those fights?
Well, Bob Arum's probably the most experienced to answer that, and he definitely put that one to bed up on the stage. So if the fighters want to fight, it will happen.
And how surprised have you been with Tyson in terms of how quickly he's found himself back at the top of the division? Was you expecting it to take a bit longer, or was you expecting him to rise as quickly as what he has done?
I said on Boxing Social interview with Rob actually at Windsor Park. I said that Tyson will have two fights, and I expect the best performance that Tyson's ever had at the end of the year. And that was what I expected. I knew seeing it in the gym what Tyson's capable of. I knew where he was at, and we definitely judged that right.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts as well on the rest of the division, starting off with the Wilder-Breazeale fight, which is coming up this weekend. Your thoughts?
I think that, listen, Wilder is a top fighter. He's a very good fighter, as is Anthony Joshua. I do think that I can just see something in Deontay Wilder which the Fury fight has affected him. I definitely can see that. But if the Deontay Wilder turns up in the ring that we know, it should be a comfortable and quick, to be honest, win. But I can see that psychologically there's a bit of damage there from the Tyson fight.
I was going to say, how much do you think that's impacted his mind? That in his mind, he may have thought, I'll fight Tyson now just before he's back to his best, and Tyson goes and produces a performance like that, where a lot of the people who watched have said that Tyson was victorious. How damaging do you actually believe that was to Deontay, and do you think that was the main reason why the fight didn't happen? The rematch didn't happen, I should say.
Potentially, but I don't want to go into details as to what and why I can see, but I can definitely see that there is psychological damage there. How big it is, we'll see in the Breazeale fight, but there is definitely something's definitely playing on his mind.
I feel like you're trying to get your words out, but you don't want to give too much away.
I don't want to give too much away because I don't want him. I don't want to
upset.
No, I don't want him to start trying to change what he's doing.
Okay.
Let him be himself. But I can definitely see that there's certain things that are very clear to me that he knows he got beat in that fight and that it's bothering him.
I'm sure you'll tell me off camera. AJ Miller's obviously cancelled on the back of Jarrell Miller's failed drugs test. First and foremost, what was your thoughts when you heard about that?
It's a shame. Obviously, it was a big mistake. Miller's saying that there's reasons behind it or something or whatever. I don't know, but listen, it's a big shame. But I think they've tried to do the best they can and get a replacement. We've got Andi-Ruiz and it should be a good fight.
What are your thoughts on that one, Andi-Ruiz as a late replacement?
Stylistically, I think it should be a comfortable night for Anthony Joshua. Andi-Ruiz, he doesn't really use his feet. He's not going to. He doesn't. He's going to try and catch and counter, and with a man that's got such a size difference in a fight where there's such size difference and Joshua's power and the way he boxes, that's not really going to work too well to sit in front of somebody like that. Take them on the arms, He's not going to be able to sit in front of Joshua, catch what Joshua's throwing and fire straight back at him. He can do it, and it makes it, percentage-wise, it gives Joshua a lot higher percentage chance to get a spectacular stoppage. But I just think with those tactics, it should be a comfortable night for Joshua.
You guys will obviously be in the States. Will you be heading over to watch a fight?
It's in New York on June the 1st, 2 weeks before. Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. It's a lot of flying around and messing around for 2 weeks before the fight. But I wouldn't suspect we'd be too welcome either. As we know what Tyson done when he jumped in the ring with Wilder in Brooklyn. But Tyson's got his own fight to sort out first. Hopefully once all these fights are dealt with the top three, there might be an opportunity to talks to be a little bit more in depth.
And finally, I did forget to mention it earlier on, Maurizio Sullivan wants to make the final eliminator between Tyson and Dillian Whyte. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw Eddie say that Tyson wouldn't take the fight. We already seen Maurizio come out and said that Whyte's team had already rejected it and refused it. I do feel sorry for Dillian Whyte because I do feel like he does deserve a shot. So that is a shame. But Tyson doesn't need to fight a final eliminator. So it is what it is. But hopefully, I'm sure, obviously everyone wants to see the top three fight. They don't talk about the top four, the top five, the top six. They want to see the top three fights. But if those fights don't get made, I'm sure Dillian Whyte will get a crack at either Tyson, Joshua or Wilder.
Well, Ben Davison, I know you're a busy man, so I'll see you in Stevenage. Thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
No problem. Cheers, mate.
Cheers,